Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Coordinated. So today we have a very special protocol. I think it might finally end the rivalry between Ethereum and Solana because their sole aim is to kind of bringing Solana to Ethereum and also on other chains. So I think whenever we release the podcast and people will hear the conversation and or more people will hear about soon, there can be some amount of peace which will be happening between both the clans. Okay, fine, there is somebody who is building a bridge between both the protocols and we can kind of leverage the best of the both. Uh, welcome Rahul, welcome Joanna, welcome Akshat, so welcome to the coordinated podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Yeah. Happy to give a quick intro of myself and
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
You
sorry.
can start, Joanna.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, we could also talk about the project, give an intro of the project too, but you give a pretty good overview. So yeah, I was crypto class of 2017, and previously before crypto, I was in TriFi for over a decade as a currency trader, and and since I joined, I was working at Coinbase at first as a listings manager, and then moved over to oversee the BD side, help launch the first NFT. Sorry, not first, but one of the NFT marketplaces. Um, that was uh, a Coinbase, and after that, I was working at OP Labs and Alio, which is other L1 ZK L1 chain as a head of BD. So that's a little bit about us. I have my colleagues here from the DevRel team joining as well, so I'll leave it to them.
Yeah, like Rahul, you can go next.
Hey everyone, Rahul here from the Soon team. I handle the developer relations part on the Soon, helping developers, builders, and teams to build amazing and cool stuff on the Soon, helping them on their programs, debugging, and integrations of different ecosystem projects. So Soon basically is a Solana Optimistic Network, one of its kind, one of the first one to bring best from Solana and the Ethereum, which is high performance and the security layer from Ethereum with fraud proofs from the OP stack. Now we have advanced that part by, currently the OP stack has fault proof. They have launched something called fault proofs, and we are going to leverage that part as well. And talking about the DA, so EigenDA, one of the most performed DA out there in the market. So we are going to leverage that. And yeah, happy to share more about how we are collaborating on this part. Akshat, please.
Uh, Hi everyone, thanks for having me, Satyaki. I'm Akshat and I'm the DevRel engineer at Soon. So uh, I basically help projects to deploy on Soon. Plus, I also spread information like what cool stuff is being cooked in the by our engineering team. I share it to the socials and all the relevant channels. Plus, since as Rahul mentioned that we're bringing best of both worlds, and that's possible because of our decoupled SVM. We can definitely have a more chat on that.
Awesome. I think before we come to the technical aspects of the protocol, I think first of all, I want to again congratulate you guys for the mainnet launch. I think kudos for that. Really, I think seeing lots of buzz around in Twitter, people are really excited to try out the Soon network. I think we just want to know like how is the journey has been. Maybe like to start with Johanna, what's the founding story of like Soon and till the mainnet launch? If you can take you us to the journey of the entire till the mainnet.
Absolutely, yeah. So as I mentioned, I was working at OP Labs before, so obviously familiar with like OP Stack and that playbook. So when I met with my co-founder, we were looking at the pain points at the time. Um, we thought about basically bringing this idea that using OP Stack in with SVM underneath, right? So the idea is really looking at the next gen VMs, right? EVM is obviously like the most battle tested virtual machine out there, but it hasn't been highest performance out of the virtual machines out here. So when we look at all the performance metrics and ecosystem maturity, and more importantly, like the overall, like the ecosystem new narratives, right, and innovation, right, we saw that especially with like what's going on Solana, with AI agent and the meme coins, and then prediction market, all these new narratives coming out. The developer culture is just where, like, SVM is where the developer culture is at. So we wanted to move that into the Ethereum world, right? Like, I think it's been probably at this point a consensus that like Ethereum just has been suffering quite a bit from lack of user adoption. So we wanted to figure out how to really bring that, like the not only the high performance, but also that boost of culture, right, into the Ethereum world. So that's how we motivated to started the project. And then throughout the last 6 months, it just felt like we were very much focusing on shipping and heads down building the next big milestones. And we went from shipping the first SPL ERC20 bridge to it just felt like it was one after another. We had like the DevNet milestone within 3 months, and then we had shipped the first, we call the InterSoon bridge, right? So that's the asset bridge between Solana and Tong. And then we shipped the testnet with with a lot of like 60 applications on top. So that's coming from the ecosystem side. Like, we have a lot of success with our Genesis hackathon. But yeah, like technically we had just done a lot of shipping a lot of different product features to get to the 6 month milestone. But I think that's why, like, when we get to the stage, it didn't feel like all of a sudden that like something has changed. We're just continuing with our builder capability to like continue to ship the next big thing. So now we're talking about the official mainnet. We had the alpha mainnet that out about at this almost a week now, and we're going to have our official mainnet launch in the Friday. So that's going to be having the entire testnet feature like shipped over to the mainnet.
Awesome. I think Rahul and Akshat, you both have been with the project probably since the Genesis, if I'm not wrong, and you have seen the hustle bustle until the mainnet launch. Like, want to know about your journey and how it has been for both of you. Like from the like seeing a project which was at a very nascent stage to actually having it real, and when we can use the mainnet and all this stuff. Yeah, want to know your both of your journey.
Rahul, you can go first.
Yeah, sure. So, a little background story. So, when I came across, there was this article about, fork SVM versus decouple SVM, written by the CTO Andrew himself. So that was one of the first doc that I read about, there is something called decouple SVM. It was so interesting that I just DM on the Twitter handle to the team that I wanted to contribute to you guys in some manner, because there was no DevNet, there was nothing that a developer can do. So I just DM on the Twitter that I wanted to contribute in some manner. So if there is any opportunity or any role or anything that I can do, please let me know. So that's how I joined like Soon team. I just cold DM to the team that,
This is
bro, I wanted
true.
to contribute in some manner, and just that's how I got the opportunity. So I've been there since the DevNet was not launched. So I joined, and then DevNet came. Then the very first ERC7 like ERC22 SPL token bridge, which is like very hard as an engineering part, because you see the decimals on ERC20 and decimals on SPL token are quite a different. It is 18 and it is 9 on SPL side. So having that engineering calculations and everything works with like 101 token, right? One SPL token is one ERC20 token. There has to be like a lot of engineering effort. So I've seen everything from that part. And it was like going through 6 months. This 6 months has been like a lot of shipping. And the engineers are like, our engineers are like crazy. They just ship. 24 hours they ship. You will see a lot of engineering stuffs coming out in the next 2 weeks, and that no one hasn't done before. So for one L2, like the P2P network and stuff that we are building, no one has did before. So for SVM side, for EVM side, getting all this engineering stuff rolling out for the users, for the builders. You see on our testnet and even on our mainnet, the deployment cost is 60x cheaper than Solana in terms of USD value. So if you want to deploy any program, it's way cheaper than Solana, way cheaper than Ethereum. If you compare it with Ethereum, it's like 100x, 150x cheaper than Ethereum. So all these engineering efforts for users and for builders, going through every milestone, building that entire Soon bridge. Basically, Ton network has their own limitation for the learning new language for developers. So all these things are going to get covered by InterSoon now. So you can write your program in Rust, you can deploy your applications on Ton using InterSoon network. So a lot of engineering efforts are going in the network, not just about the Soon mainnet, but like Soon stack as well. So now you have Soon stack, which one click application chain launch. You can launch your chain like application as a chain in one click with our partners with like Caldera or AltLayer. So all these things in just 6 months is like pretty amazing. So if you ask me from my perspective, it's mind blowing. I've never seen any team shipping so fast and this quick. And with like QA and everything, auditing and everything done. Not just shipping, but everything with 0 to 1. So yeah, this is my experience. Like
Yeah,
Awesome.
Akshat. Yeah.
Yeah, so I came to know about Soon when around Breakpoint, and I was deep in the dev world. Like I've worked in the Solana ecosystem and Ethereum ecosystem as well. And when I came to know about this decoupled SVM thing, so I just thought that okay, everyone is just copying and pasting the SVM, which is the forked SVM. And I thought I still remember thinking that okay, these guys are doing something different. It's like you can bring Solana everywhere, and I got into the Solana ecosystem just after the FTX crash. So I know I've seen all the FUD and how everyone used to treat Solana back then. So yeah, I shot them a message and had some really nerdy chats with the team. So I just went deep into the architecture and all the good stuff. So they were looking for someone to help other devs understand and build with their tech, and that just resonated with me and them. So now I'm doing DevRel here and helping folks understand how to build with our stack. And yeah, I love working. It's pretty sweet gig. Like it lets you work with new tech and help other devs while building it.
Great. I think, Joanna, you must be very lucky that you have this Solana maxis and who are very passionate about Soon to take your vision to the next level and like actually get things fun for you and also for the team. So I think, yeah, I think you're really blessed in that way that you have this like people working with you.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely feel like both Aksha and Rahul has been deep in the Solana ecosystem, are part of the super teams in, both in India and UAE. So it already has like the deep connections with the local communities. That's always been the big plus from our team distribution perspective. We have a lot of folks, deep talent within these local markets, and that's been one of our differentiators as well.
Awesome, cool. I think next very important question is that what I have read through the docs and the blog announcement that you guys haven't raised any VC fund yet now. And I think that's a very rare happening in Web3 because if you see an infra project mainly or something like a L2, you see lots of like millions are being thrown at those projects because it's the infra, you can get the ecosystem effect, then projects will be building upon them. It's a big thing both for the founders, also for the VCs to throw in their money. So I think you took a very different approach if we take still from a Web3 standpoint. So like want to know your thought, what was the thought process behind not going to the VC route and following more of a community approach, which you are eventually taking?
Yeah. So we kind of always been taking more of a like the not the easiest route, but the right right thing, the right route. This was true with the with the technical design, we went with the Decoupled SVM. This is true with our, with our ecosystem building. We didn't just vampire attack Solana, but build all these native projects on Soon. And this is true with the fundraising strategy, right? So we really took a deliberate decision to think through, what kind of community that we want to build, and when we thought about like the token distribution, it's really important for us to be able to incentivize the true contributors within the network, not just the whales. So we obviously were inspired by some of the other projects out there that wanted to go with this community route in the past, but we realized like all the previous projects, right, that wanted to give out a lot of the tokens to their community, basically still going after this sort of a like not really benefiting, with not so much of a transparency, like still putting things in the black box manner. So we wanted to go with a very transparent and fair launch approach, right? So we really took a decision to, make sure that everybody who wants to participate can participate, right? So that includes both, the VCs, the KOLs, and the community members, right? So, obviously with those type of risk tolerance, like different levels of a risk tolerance and comfort level, you need different terms and you need different valuations. So that's where we got that inspiration to get the different tiers set up. And then, we also make sure that in a true, community spirit, right? Like we also wanted to give out this, airdrop expectation. So that is baked into the price that you will receive when you purchase these NFTs, right? So that's where this like airdrop getting baked into their fair launch itself in the form of rebates, in the form of discounts, right? So folks who have a really high social impact on Twitter will get certain discounts because they yap a lot about Soon, or just in general yaps a lot, right? That it's something that truly valuable to the community. And then also, people who has referred to other people about Soon, right? That's another important expectation. So yeah, we work with Kaido to incorporate their API into our model, and we also encourage people to participate in the ecosystem, right? To explore the different applications. That's all being baked into the total calculation. So that's how it came to this realization. Like, we wanted to make this a new playbook, the first of a kind, but really prioritize fairness and transparency at the end.
Yeah, I think like with the approach you guys have taken for Soon and the token distribution as well, I think I've seen it was like around more than 50% allocation to the going to the community, and with the kind of a more of a
Yeah,
ICO based kind of
exactly.
raising, it is kind of making it as an even playground. I think lots of debates were there for like high float, low FDV throughout the last bear cycle, and there were so many projects which tanked. But I think basis on the current, I think the market we're operating at this moment, and with successes like Hyperliquid and all, with a more community friendly approach, I think Soon is poised to do something very nice. I think kudos to you and the entire team for like having this decision.
So basically, we have a mechanism where we are going through an NFT mint, right? That constitute 39% of the token distribution, and then the 12% will go towards the airdrop, which will be accessed through the NFT. So think of it, the NFT as a battle pass, right? So total, we are giving out that 51%, more than half of the percent of the tokenomics towards the community members. Yeah, so that's really important to us because community has always been the heart of our everything that we do.
Awesome. I think, yeah, I think as I was saying that with the like low float, high FDV problem across the beer market last season, I think many projects were shying away from VC routes because that was the problem which was keep on coming. I think recent success, the way the route you took for the, like a more of a community friendly approach with Hyperliquid and a few other projects, we saw really good feedback from the community, both from the project perspective and also from the like a retail perspective and the other scenarios. I think kudos to you for that and the team for taking that decision to go on a more community friendly note. I think continuing on this conversation, I think one thing which was there is the Soon NFT mint. I think if you can talk about that a bit, like was this obviously like it is kind of taking part in the Soon token or the Soon project, but want to know more about you, like about the Soon NFT like vision.
Yeah, sure. So the NFT mint is a way for us to really prioritize like fairness and transparency. You mentioned, Hyperliquid. It's obviously one of the inspirations for us, but we wanted to really look at the various contributors within the ecosystem. So that includes the backers, includes um, the builders and then the users, right? So all of these people, we're trying to give them the fair shot at getting token allocation. So people have different expectations, have different risk tolerance. So we wanted to really tier out the different valuations with the different terms. Some people might be diamond hand, right? That wanted to less stringent on the vesting, on the unlock period, but more sensitive to the evaluation, right? That's when you can go with like the lowest valuation. I'm sorry, the highest. Yes, lowest valuation, but no highest the term, right? And then the vice versa, right? If someone who's more of a, degen, right, wants to kind of like trade based on the market trend, right? Then you can come in and add the highest valuation, but basically having the entire token unlocked on day one from TGE. So yeah, that's where we got that initial inspiration. So we have different tiers for people to choose from at different pricing. And the best part of this, we're embedding both the discounts, right, in a way that you can get these airdrop, right, through having a really high social impact score, because we have a collaboration with Kaido to incorporate your Kaido score into the API into our development. So people with higher impact on the social media will get a bigger discounts because they use a lot. And also, if you do a referral, right, you receive bonus on that. And then lastly, if you participate in our airdrop phase, so you can participate in the quest, right, what we call like the ecosystem big band, right, ecosystem quest. So by interacting with different applications on Soon, you can receive even further Soon tokens through those experiments. And the fun part of that is you have the NFT that can give you access to these more tokens, right, through like a experiment of a battle pass. So that gives you a different pool of the overall tokenomics. So yeah, so we have given a lot of thoughts to the overall design that really made it like a first of a kind. But in overall, I think we really wanted to make this a 2017 ICO style, so everybody who wants to participate can participate.
Great. I think real community visions have been put in place from the very beginning for the Soon protocol or the Soon like L2 or the Soon project. I think moving on to the next part of the conversation, obviously there will be the tech part. I think seriously, it's one of the best tech stack I've seen. You have like a Solana as the execution part, you have ETH as settlement part, you have Eigen as the DA part, and I think if I've understood correctly, Optimism is taking care of or the OP stack is taking care of the sequencing and batching and all those parts. So, want to know specifically if I take it part by part, Ethereum as a settlement makes very sense because I think after Bitcoin, it's the only programmable blockchain which has the maximum security. So settling on Ethereum makes complete sense. So I'll not deep dive on that. But I think you guys are mentioning a lot about the decoupled SVM. So I like to know more from Rahul or Akshat. Why the design choice of like let's say Solana is there? Because you have so many layer twos, right? You have Arbitrum, you have Optimism, you have many other execution environments. I'm completely getting it that okay, Solana is one of the best. Obviously, we can see it in terms of the people's activity and the so many people are there. But just want to know from a tech standpoint how Solana is differing and the reason for Soon to choose Solana as execution engine.
Hmm. I'll take this. So are taking best of both worlds, as I said. And so instead of just forking Solana's virtual machine, which is SVM, just like others, so we decoupled the transaction processing unit. So it means we can get SVM's fast transactions processing, and we can settle it. We are settling that on EVM. Whereas in forked SVMs, they just take out full of Solana, full of Solana's layer, and they also have the voting transactions and Solana's consensus, which we have carefully removed, and thus we can get all of SVM's parallel processing power, which is optimized for a roll-up environment. So what makes it powerful is that it reduces DA costs by removing unnecessary components like vote transactions, which are not useful for layer 2, and it got built-in support for fraud proofs, which was not possible there in pure Solana world. So plus another thing is that it gives distributed execution. It means TPU, the transaction processing units workload, can be spread across multiple machines. So this network is more reliable and more scalable compared to, I would say, be it Solana or be it pure Ethereum or be it pure Optimism or be it any forked SVM.
Yeah,
So they, yeah.
Rahul,
adding to
would you
this
like to?
part.
Yeah.
So on EVM, you see like the transaction happens on the sequential manner, right? Take
Mhm.
any EVM side, everything will happen on the sequential manner, one by one. On Solana, one of the major part for their architecture was that they had C-level programming and the smart contract of parallel processing unit. So all this smart contract they can process in the parallel manner. So if there are thousands of transactions, all the transactions can happen in like the parallel processing. So only bottlenecks on Solana was the voting transaction because like a particular block on Solana, 80 to 90% transactions are voting transactions. So what we did was we took that decouple SVM, like the C-level programming, local fee market. If you are aware of these terms, local fee market is for the programs to have their own state. On Solana, there is every smart contract has their own state. On EVM, there is only one giant global state. So that's why the sequential processing versus the parallel processing. Every smart contract can contain their own state. They can execute on depending on their own state, not just reliable on like one giant global state. So that is one of the very cool feature from Solana. We took that part for the execution, C level and the parallel processing with the local fee market, and just remove that execution and consensus layer. So we developed something which is called derivation pipeline. If you are aware of that, so all the layer two, there is this thing called derivation pipeline, which connects layer one with layer two, and this is your consensus. So on layer twos, the consensus mechanism works is on the major part is on this derivation pipeline. So when you post any transaction on L1, this derivation pipeline is something that which checks and proves that okay, this transaction has happened and the state has been changed on layer one. So this is like pure technical stuff, but yeah, this is how we are achieving like higher performance using Solana and higher security using like Ethereum's settlement layer through the derivation pipeline and decouple SVM as execution.
Cool. I think I'm not much familiar with the Solana architecture, but I have heard these terms called fee market and all. I think that is very native to the Solana architecture because Ethereum doesn't have all this. It has that mempool where transactions come in sequentially. For L2s, they have their own mempools. They sequence it, they batch it, they put a roll up or they send a fraud proof, and you know the entire process. I think honestly, I haven't delved deep into that, how fee market is more efficient. But yeah, obviously, Solana has the parallel processing. It has much more TPS and I think cheaper fees also in that sense. I think uh, great thought process on that. I think if we go to the next part, the DA part, there are this other DAs, right? Avail is there, Celestia is there. Although me, I am personally Eigenmaxi for all the obvious reasons, but want to know your thought process, why you choose like EigenDA when there are like already DAs like Avail and Celestia and all these part things are available.
Yeah, sure. So one of the main reason of choosing Eigen as a DA was the throughput, obviously, because the 15 Mbps of throughput that Eigen provides. And Eigen has, if you are aware of this, Eigen did this test on, putting all the transaction data of every chain on their DA. And it successfully had this Solana state on their chain with some TB of data, which is like very huge in number. So looking back at those numbers and checking their states, it makes totally sense to use Eigen for the DA with high throughput, with where all the commitment can be posted on the DA and by checking by the prover, and it can be verified as well. So the lower cost for the DA and the higher throughput, which makes it reliable choice for the Soon to use Eigen as a DA layer.
Yeah, I think Gajesh deployed that. I think it was a site called Eigen.wtf where they took
Yeah,
the state of all the chains, put it in the DA, and I think there was still more than 50% capacity of TPS which was remaining for that. I
yeah.
think I think great again great thought process on that. I think on the fourth part you have optimism. Optimism as the sequencing or the batching part. I think I also like want to know about that, like why the optimism OP stack. I think obviously lots of projects like almost every second L2 is using OP stack. I am getting it, but just want to know from technical standpoint what OP stack is unlocking you or giving power to the Soon structure.
Yeah, sure. So you see, there are fork SVM. There are chains who mention that we are the first one on Solana bringing on Ethereum, but it's merely a side chain. They are not on L2. So what makes us true L2 is the OP stack. Basically, it is battle tested. Everyone in the ecosystem knows about that. The Optimism portal, which is we are using for settlements. So it gives a user and the teams a unique feature, which is the exit window and the force inclusion. These are like very two important stuff when you are building an L2. So think about like for any reason sequencer is not available, right? If it goes down or goes offline, for user funds which are actually on L2, how do you going to withdraw it or update the state on L1? So there is this thing called the force inclusion, which is a smart contract function where user can call the function and update the state on the L1, which is forcefully you can just change the state, which is open for everyone, not just for some white labeled addresses. So other L2s like they just have these white label addresses. So which means that only few addresses can change the state actually. It's not open for public. The exit window is in the important stuff where you can withdraw your funds in terms of sequencer failing. So user can just prove that, okay, I have this much fund on L2, which is locked, and I want my L1 funds back. So you just burn those tokens and get your L1 funds back using the exit window. So having this battle tested environment and a lot of research around OP stack, because a lot of the OP stack is one of the major part of the Ethereum ecosystem. If you see now, because major teams are relying on their infrastructure, on their smart contracts, on their vaults. So that's why our first choice was to get the OP stack, get the fault proofs now, which is the even advanced version of the fraud proofs, which takes it down. The fraud proofs take like 7 days of time to verify. The fault proofs is going to take down those time for verification of withdrawal process. So that's why having OP stacks makes totally sense for the Soon architecture.
Awesome. I think yeah, before only asking this question, I promoted you guys. Okay, this is one of the best technologies I have kind of seen. It's like it has gone the all the thought process kind of taking the best of all the parts. But I think from an engineering standpoint, there must be some challenges out there because you are kindly taking or inspiring, getting inspired from lots of different architectures, having their own, if I say own set of languages, because I think Solana has Rust as main, OP Stack and Ethereum has Solidity and all. So and decoupling everything is cool for the end user, but I think it's a hard from an engineering standpoint. So any engineering setbacks which you guys faced and like how you kind of solved it, if you can tell something about that.
Okay, so there is this one very interesting topic called Merkleization. And Solana right now, they don't have inclusion proofs, meaning they don't, have the proof that you can check, okay, this transaction has been happened by 2 or 3 minutes ago. Like for the proofs of, obviously you can verify the transactions, but the proofs. So the inclusion proofs and having the Merkleization on Solana accounts was one of the very tough engineering effort that we did, and we successfully pulled it off. So Merkleization is basically for proving states on L1. So you have Merkle root, which proves, okay, the whole state of the accounts. On Solana, everything is account. So that was one of the very I think challenging part for whole architecture, and getting it integrated in the Decoupled SVM with our sequencer node and running it completely with batcher and prover as well. So yeah, that was one of the big thing on the engineering side. Akshat, do you want to add anything else here?
Yeah, so like so one of the biggest challenges was like how we took the TPU, the transaction processing unit, from Solana's original design, because it's like deeply connected with their consensus, and it relies on proof of history for transaction ordering and timing. So we had to completely rewrite transaction scheduling and ordering works to function in a rollup environment. Basically means to optimize SVM for a rollup environment. Yeah, that's all.
I think
Cool. I
the
think, yeah, Joanna, please.
Sure.
Oh, I was going to add a bit of a non-tech point of view, right? So, I mean, I think that all of that is really, from my perspective, it's something that we put a lot of efforts and engineering hours in. But one thing that was always like keeping me up at night is, as technology providers, are we building a platform that people care about, right? So at the end of the day, I think all these innovations that we have brought to the table, is it going to be kind of recognized, right, by the public? That's always been my challenge. So so essentially the partnership with Anza, which is the spin-off developer shop of Solana, has really brought a lot of confidence in that, right? So what we're doing right now, this Merkleization, introducing the precision Merkle tree into the Solana virtual machine, right? That is a co-authored article between us and Anza. We're bringing this to the overall SVM ecosystem, and we're contributing back by open sourcing our code base, having them review our code, and now kind of streaming that back to the Agave repo. That's always been, to me, the biggest satisfaction to be recognized as the industry standard. That means we have built something that can be approved by those the most official voice in the community, and be generalized to contribute back to the ecosystem.
Yeah, Joanna, I think my next question will be to you only, because as you raised the question of partnership, I think there are pretty insane amount of partnerships which is there with the Soon ecosystem. Like, want to know, like, what are the kind of the projects which have integrated Soon, or kind of the if you can give us some examples of apps which are building on Soon currently.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to give a quick snapshot. So I think in the process of building this, really high performance 30K TPS and low latency 50 milliseconds block time, blockchain with all these benchmarks, we always wanted to go with this high frequency, low notional, or what I call like microtransaction type of use cases. So we found tractions in something we call the consumer DPIN. So, consider these hardwares that are not like super heavy GPU or compute heavy type of hardwares, but everyday devices that you use, right? Like like a vaping device, like a vape to earn kind of thing, or a like electric toothbrush, right? We have this one project that is using the electric toothbrush to record your everyday hygiene data, right? To make it like a gamified experience, so you compete with your friends, family for, for fun and for points that rewards better overall healthcare habits, right? So I think that's an interesting way to bring this like Web2 use case into Web3, truly for the first time, right? With this real-time blockchain. experience. And then the other thing is we also see a lot of like in the DeFi space, right? We're seeing these memes being brought in. So we call MemeFi, right, as a collateral to borrow against. So you can, maybe collateralize your more liquid assets and, to play with like the more degen, the more, newest on the block type of memes. So that's an interesting use case that we've seen as well. And the other thing is really like what we've seen on the AI, decentralized AI side. So because we're first and foremost a stack, we're rollup stack, right? So by default, we're not just building one general purpose L2, but providing the tech stack so other people can use it to spin off their own application specific chains as well. So we're partnering with folks like we actually haven't announced it yet, so I can't say the name, but an AI gaming chain that is AI gaming application that is going to spin up their own chain, right? So I think this is something that I'm truly excited about, seeing all the new AI companies can finally put this feature of like building their LLM model or their inference model on chain, right? Because previously they're bottlenecked by the EVM tech stack. They can only choose between Optimism or OP stack, which both have really long latency, right? 400 milliseconds, like 2 seconds even. So we're bringing this new paradigm of, first and foremost, like getting those AI companies to an on-chain space.
Great. I think pretty insane use cases which are being. Yeah, Akshat, you want to add
Yeah,
something?
I'd like to add a point on this in the DeFi section. So since because of our 30K TPS, it's now possible that we'll be having an on-chain order book, which was not at all possible on the EVM side. So that's pretty cool case in DeFi that is enabled by our decoupled SVM.
Yeah, I think I haven't checked yet the live if there is some dashboard or something which anybody can see how the real TPS and latency of the Soon network is. We'll love to see it, or we can I can just tweet it out because I think there is Aptos or the move-based chains. They are also promising 100K TPS if I'm not wrong, something around that. But I haven't seen it because I think that was in a test environment. But yeah, I think if something which is near to even 30K, which is there as a TPS, if you guys can share with me, it'll be like, I think it's a very, at the current scenario, it's one of the fastest, fastest chain or fastest protocol with taking Ethereum as a settlement. Uh, I think my next and very important question for I think for the Soon network and also for the other builders as well. It will be specific to Rahul and Akshat both. Like where can devs and builders get started with Soon network? If you can just take us through the journey because many devs and the builders also listen to this podcast or follow coordinated. If they see okay, Soon is a network L2. If you can like take us through the journey, where to get started, the dogs, the tech stack they use. Also, if you guys have some grant support for all the apps and protocols which are coming up, will nice to know all of them.
Yeah, sure. So, for developers and builders, we have the docs.su.network. It pretty much has everything that a developer needs, from support of the API, JSON RPC requests to the SDK and everything. So we are totally compatible with the Solana Web3.js based any SDK or APIs that you see. You just need to change the RPC URL to the Soon network. You can use all these infra side like SDKs and APIs. So be it Metaplex, you can use Metaplex, you can use SPL token libraries, you can use Solana Web3.js libraries. Other than that, we have Oracle support right now live. So everything you will find on the docs. So you just go on the docs.su.network. If you have any technical question, you can join our Telegram group or our Discord. So on Discord, we have like dedicated channels for the developers and the builders. So they can ask questions. Me and Akshat are always there for answering those queries and questions. So you can just ask those. You can DM us on the Twitter as well. So you can just find us on the Twitter and DM us personally. So about your idea or the project that you want to build and whatever kind of support that you need from Soon side. So we are always there for supporting you. And talking about grants, so actively we do not have any grants program for the developers, but we do have like incentive programs. So if you build like very cool projects, so be it like marketing support or growth or socials or incentives in the future, we do have those programs for the developers. So please reach out if you are building any project or just exploring the network. Me and Akshat are always there to chat with you.
Awesome. I think we got a gist of what you guys are doing it soon. I think insane amount of effort and thought process have gone in both from a technical perspective and also from the non-technical perspective. And before we wrap up, I think one question I'll ask to Johanna that I think where we are at the roadmap. Obviously, again, congratulating for the mainnet because that's a very important
So,
milestone for all of you and also for the Web3 ecosystem to get a new kind of project, which is like a hybrid of both Solana and Ethereum. But like, where are you at the roadmap, and what are your plans for the next 2 quarters?
Yeah, for sure. We actually published this on the, if you go to our coming soon NFT page, we have a soon roadmap that talks about the next probably immediate like 3 to 6 months. So, after the mainnet launch, we have now going to announce this, we call the Big Bang moment, right? So that's the ecosystem quest, as incentive campaigns for the users to benefit from coming to the soon and interact with our, top apps, and receive, basically the tokens incentives through the form of airdrop. And then after that, we have the, because concurrently at the same time, we're launching all these new chains. We have, like 5+ partners that's in the pipeline. We already announced yesterday, actually, just last night. So really quickly, after the mainnet launch, we have our Big Bang moment. So that's our incentive campaign for the main top activities apps that you can participate in this quest campaign to interact with the top killer apps on soon. And then concurrently, you see all the new chains getting launched via Soonstack. So just today at 5 a.m. Malaysian time, we had announced the Soon SVM roll up on top of BNB. So that's a really big deal, right? So having, big win for the Solana ecosystem, the SVM ecosystem overall, right? To welcome, the another heavy hitter into the ring, right? So as an SVM roll up on top of BNB, now this chain is going to be best positioned to bring all these new narratives that are popping up on the Solana ecosystem, SVM ecosystem, to the Ethereum world. So this is, in my mind, like the best way to save Ethereum, right, with SVM, with Solana underneath. And then lastly, we have all the intersoon connectivity coming up, right? So to interconnect all the Soon chains within our universe, but also the large L1 ecosystem like Solana and Tang. So that is to ensure that the liquidity doesn't get fragmented, and you have the cross-chain messaging protocol that we're relying on Hyperlane underneath. That's how we are going to make SVM, the cosmic experience that you can find everywhere. Go for it.
Cool, awesome. I think thanks guys for like taking us through the journey of Genesis to the mainnet. I think really great job done till now. I think you have launched the mainnet, have a good amount of I think projects which are live. This token is also coming up soon, and you have all the community support across CT and all. I think congratulations for the journey till now, and wish you all the best for what lies ahead.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we really have gone to this point only because we have a very strong community. I really want to come back to that point, and hopefully, with the tokenomics model, we can make sure that everyone gets to participate into the overall growth of the ecosystem.
Awesome, awesome. Yep. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Rahul. Thanks, Akshat. Thanks, Joanna.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having
Thank you for
us.
having me.
Thank you so much for having us.